Good morning. Welcome to St. Andrew's, an inclusive and affirming church located in downtown North Bay. And a special welcome to all the United Churches here in North Bay who are joining us for this special shared service. It's so great to have you all here today. And for anyone who's visiting for the first time, it's great to see you too. As this is a special Good Friday service of music and readings, the hymns will not be announced as they often are, but you'll be able to follow along in the screens we have here and in your bulletins. And you're invited to stand in body and spirit whenever there's a star beside it. And as we do each time we gather, we recognize this territory that we gather on is home to Anishinaabe peoples of the Nipissing First Nation, a home to many Indigenous peoples. And each time we gather, we commit again to walking together in a good way. This morning we light our Christ candle, and we remember that even when the road grows dark and storm clouds cover the horizon, as we see for sure this morning, when we light this candle, may it guide us through that darkness, as we know Jesus does again and again. And as we light our rainbow community candle, and the flame flickers in our midst, we come to remember the story. We come to weather the storm together, and to remember the light of Christ is within us all. Please join me in standing for our opening hymn, Voices United number 658, O Love That Wilt Not Let Me Go, verses 1, 2, 3, and 1 again. Please join me in our call to worship, written on the screens and in your bulletins. On this day, we see it all. Everything dies, life dies, death dies, everything is done. Except love. Only love is not done. Only love will not die. Everything is finished, except love. Love that bears all things. Love that believes all things. Love that holds all things. love that endures through all things. Love. At some point, everything will be done, except love. Love is never done. Please join me in our opening prayer. God of beginnings, God of endings, God of journeys too hard to imagine, be with us now as we journey into Good Friday, this day of ending dreams, this crashing down of life, this harsh leaving of all we know. It leaves us standing on the broken rubble of what our vivid lives were supposed to be. Be with us now as we travel this road, and be with all when you streak the first faint light of dawn across some clouded horizon, signaling the return of love to your world. Amen.
In the days leading up to Passover, Judas went to the chief priests, who were worried about unrest in the streets and were looking for a way to remove Jesus.
Judas asked them, "What will you give me if I deliver Jesus to you?"
They paid Judas 30 pieces of silver, and from that moment, Judas looked for an opportunity to betray Jesus.
One.
This is a story about a man and his boss.
2.
Our man joined the firm with 11 others.
3.
They were all equal partners under one boss.
4.
The boss was a good man. They all trusted him.
5.
Our man was respected by the firm. They put him in charge of finances.
6.
He kept a tight ship. He hated waste.
7.
Occasionally, he was tempted to dip into the money for his own use. But that was one of the perks of the job.
8.
The firm, they traveled a lot, moving around the country.
9.
The boss, well, he took risks. He offended the establishment. He didn't always mix with the right kind of people, and where the boss went, the firm went too.
10.
Our man didn't always approve of the company the firm kept, but he kept his thoughts to himself.
11.
Sometimes the group split up and operated in pairs, and the boss trusted them to do this.
12.
They discovered that they could do most of the things the boss could do. They were excited and pleased.
13.
The firm stayed together for 3 years. They were good together.
14.
The partners did not always agree about what the boss had asked them to do. There were sometimes arguments.
15.
The boss settled arguments quickly. They knew he was fair. He tried not to have favorites.
16,
Our man had clear ideas about what he wanted from the firm and where he wanted the boss to take them.
17,
As the days went on, the boss appeared to our man to be getting a little fanatical about challenging the establishment.
18,
Our man could see where things were heading, and he wanted out.
19,
Our man had choices. He could try to persuade the boss to change direction, but that seemed unlikely. Or he could go to the establishment and help them slow the boss down.
20,
Our man sensed that the boss knew what he was up to. If the other partners discovered what he was up to, he was in trouble. But if the boss was choosing not to tell them, maybe he secretly approved of what our man was contemplating and wanted him to do it, or maybe he didn't. It was a chance our man would have to take.
21,
What finally led our man to take action was the night the boss turned on him for criticizing a woman. All that talk of the poor and death and burial, that might be the way the boss intended to go, but our man had no intention of following him.
22,
Our man went to the establishment and spilled the beans. They wanted to interview the boss in person, and he agreed to lead their guys to him. They paid our man well, in silver.
23,
One night, while the firm, still blissfully unaware, enjoyed their annual dinner, the boss hinted strongly that he knew what our man was doing. After an exchange of words with the boss, our man left the meal early to do the deed.
24,
He led the militia to a secret garden where he knew that the boss and his partners would be. He pointed to the boss, and then he kissed him. The soldiers acted on his signal, and the boss was arrested and taken away.
25,
Our man breathed a sigh of relief. He was now on the side of the establishment. Even if the partners tried to get back at him, they had little chance. Their reputations, with the boss arrested, would be in tatters.
26,
Later, he heard the news. The establishment had sentenced the boss to death. He'd not meant that. He thought they'd just, well, he wasn't sure what he'd thought, but he hadn't wanted anyone to be killed. And he certainly didn't want to be blamed or held responsible for the boss's death.
27,
He went back to the establishment. He tried to tell them that the boss was a really good man. Foolish, maybe, deserving punishment, perhaps, but not death. He tried to give them back the money they'd paid him, said he'd made a mistake. They laughed at him and they told him to scram. He did, throwing the money down on the floor as though it was cursed. And he ran out.
28.
Our man could not cope. He hung himself. He died by his own hand, and his boss died at the hands of strangers.
29.
The firm broke up, and the partners went into hiding.
30. There it is, 30 pieces of silver.
The money they paid our man Judas to betray his boss, Jesus.
They're going to use it somewhat fittingly to buy a burial ground.
A Passover meal for 13. How come it's always me that has to lay the table and never the boys? A Passover meal for 13, Mom says, in our upstairs room, 10 courses, best dishes, 2 jars of wine. And they will need a waitress. Job for you, Naomi, Mom says. Make a little pocket money. Me, I'd rather play with my friends, but a little extra is always nice. So here I am, setting the table for 13. I wheedled it out of Mom that the meal is for Jesus and his friends, but I've got to keep it secret, so don't tell anyone, okay? They don't want their enemies to find them and burst in. Mom's a bit worried there could be trouble. Jesus has been known to get attention at parties. The water and the wine thing and the perfume in the parlor scandal, to name but 2. I don't think Mom needs to worry. Jesus is our friend. He wouldn't want to cause trouble for her. But all the same, I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open tonight. I might have a few stories later to share with my friends.
As they were eating at Passover, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take, eat. This is my body."
And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. This is the last wine I will drink until we drink it together, new in the kingdom of heaven." Then Jesus said to them, "Tonight you will all desert me, for it is written in the Scriptures that God will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered.
But after I have been brought back to life again, I will go to Galilee and meet you there."
Peter declared, "Even if everyone else deserts you, I won't."
Jesus told him, "The truth is that this very night, before the cock crows at dawn, you will deny me 3 times.
But Peter declared, "I would die before I ever deny you." And the other disciples said the same.
Then Jesus and his disciples went out as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. On reaching the place, he said to them, "Pray that you will not fall into temptation."
He withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will but yours be done." An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground.
When he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from sorrow. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you will not fall into temptation."
While he was still speaking, a crowd came up, and the man who was called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He approached Jesus to kiss him. But Jesus asked him, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?"
When Jesus' followers saw what was going to happen, they said, "Lord, should we strike with our swords?" And one of them struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his right ear.
But Jesus answered, "No more of this." And he touched the man's ear and healed him.
Then Jesus said to the chief priests, the officers of the temple guard, and the elders who had come for him, "Am I leading a rebellion that you have come with swords and clubs? Every day I was with you in the temple courts, and you did not lay a hand on me. But this is your hour, when darkness reigns."
Then seizing him, they led him away and took him into the house of the high priest.
It makes me weep rivers, that bit. I could not do what you've done, Jesus. I'm scared of dark and powerful forces. I prefer to run and hide, maybe kick their bums when they're not looking, but in the main, I'm feared. You spread joy among despondency. Now, here, I've had wee successes myself. You came to crush the oppressors. I'm right behind you there. But I should explain. Sometimes I cannot stand my ground. You rallied against cant and hypocrisy. So do I. Then I start using them myself, because it's easier and softer and cringe. You healed the sick. with your love. I'd like to do that, but I lack the currency. But see you in the Garden of Gethsemane. Could you not have run, or at least hooked Judas? Just standing there, letting them do you in. It makes me weep rivers, that bit. Next time, use them!
The guard led Jesus away and took him to the house of the high priest. Peter followed at a distance. And when some there had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and sat down together, Peter sat down with them. A servant girl saw him seated there in the firelight. She looked closely at him and said, "This man was with them."
But he denied it. "Woman, I don't know him," he said.
A little later, someone else saw him and said, "You are also one of them."
"Man, I am not," Peter replied.
About an hour later, another asserted, "Certainly this fellow was with him, for he's a Galilean."
Peter replied, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about." Just as he was speaking, the rooster crowed. Jesus turned and looked straight at Peter. And Peter remembered what Jesus had said to him. "Before the rooster crows today, you will disown me 3 times.
Peter fled into the night and wept bitterly.
Jesus was taken in chains to Pilate. The chief priests accused Jesus of many things, so Pilate questioned him. "Aren't you going to answer?" he said. "Listen to all their accusations." Jesus refused to say a word, and Pilate was amazed.
Pilate spoke to the crowd. "What do you want me to do with this one you call King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him!"
What crime has he committed?" Pilate asked.
They shouted all the louder, "Crucify him!"
Pilate wanted to please the crowd, so he set Barabbas free for them. Then he had Jesus whipped and handed him over to be crucified.
Good question. Pilate asked what crime Jesus had committed. It was a good question. Jesus had annoyed the religious leaders. Of that, there was no doubt. He had been critical of social and religious structures. He had healed the villagers. He had told stories to the crowds. He was probably a threat to public law and order, but was that enough to condemn him, to end his life? Yet there, standing in front of Pilate, he would not defend himself. The storyteller stood silent while the crowd was noisy. So Pilate handed him over to be crucified.
Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. And then they twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand.
Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again.
After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him.
As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene in Africa who was named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull.
I don't understand adults. They make me angry sometimes. Look at them now, treating Jesus so mean. What's he done to be treated this way? I met him once. Jesus came over and asked me what I enjoyed. I told him about the games I play with my friends. He understood. I told him about how I always got the blame when I fought with my sister. He knew about that too. I like Jesus. I feel sorry for him today. I'm angry with the people who are hurting him. And where are his friends? Why aren't they sticking up for him? Why have they all run away?
The soldiers gave Jesus drugged wine to drink, but when he had tasted it, he refused. After nailing him to the cross and raising him up, the soldiers threw dice to divide up his clothes among themselves. Then they sat around and watched him as he hung there, and they put a sign above his head. "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews."
2 robbers were also crucified, one on either side of him. The people passing by hurled abuse, shaking their heads at him and saying, "So, you can destroy the temple and build it again in 3 days, can you? Well then, come on down from the cross, if you are the Son of God."
And the chief priests and Jewish leaders also mocked him. "He saved others," they scoffed, "but he can't save himself. So you are the King of Israel, are you? Come down from that cross and we'll believe you."
Hello there, King of the Jews. How are you today? Hello there, King of the Jews. The sun is shining bright. Jews. The sun is shining bright, and everything's coming up roses for you and all of your friends. It really must be very nice to be the king of the world. Hail, hail, hail!
One of the criminals hanging beside him taunted Jesus. "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it. Save yourself, and us too, while you're at it."
But the other criminal retorted back, "Don't you fear God even when you are dying? You and I are being punished for what we did, but he hasn't done anything wrong." Turning his head to Jesus, he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise."
There were 3 down-and-out guys. Robber 1, Robber 2, and the guy in the middle. As the soldiers nailed Rob 1 and Rob 2 to their crosses, both of them swore and struggled plenty. But when it came to the guy in the middle, he didn't fight. He just lay down, spread out his arms, and nodded to the soldier as if to say, "Get on with it." But his face went pale and his body jerked as the nails went in. As the soldiers muscled his cross up into place, he gasped out, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." Even through his pain, Rob too was shocked. He'd seen the guy in the middle around. A lot of people knew him, said he could work miracles if you were sick. Hadn't done him much good, had it, thought Rob too, as he hung in agony in the hot noonday air. Then the soldiers scrawled their names on boards and nailed them to the crosses. And to the guy in the middle sign they added, "King of the Jews." Ha ha, how funny, thought Rob too. Typical Romans making fun of the lot of us. That set Rob 1 going. "Come on, holy roller, save yourself, and us too, since you're so great," he raved at the guy in the middle. "Where's your promised kingdom now, huh? Where? Rob 2 yelled back at him. "Shut your face, he don't deserve this. You and me had it coming, but he didn't do anything wrong." Rob 1 spat in disgust, turned his face away. The guy in the middle turned and looked at Rob 2. Silhouetted against the soldiers and the gawking crowd, the guy in the middle looked like the only bit of decency in this crappy world. Rob too found himself suddenly blurting out, "Please, when you get to your kingdom, sir, remember me, please." As soon as he said it, he felt stupid. The guy in the middle quietly looked at him. Rob too cringed at what he must be seeing, a low-life thief from the street getting his just dessert. A hint of a smile slowly opened on the guy in the middle's face. Then his words struggled across the empty air. "Today," he said, "today you'll join me in paradise." Rob too stared speechless at the man in the middle. Unexpectedly, tears welled in his eyes. For some reason, his throat froze and he couldn't speak, could barely think. He managed a short, awkward nod of thanks to him before turning away, shaking. From there, a hellish hour passed. Rob Two's life flickered in and out before him. He remembered his burning resentment against the world. He remembered the power robbery gave him. It was good to see others hurt, frightened and cursing and crying as you grabbed their belongings, then hit them and demanded more. But here, his life pouring over him, as it all slowly crashed to an end, all that hurting echoed back on him. The guy in the middle was so right. He had never really known what he was doing, what a trail of misery he'd left behind him. He struggled and heaved in a fog of regret, pain, and unknowing. Slowly, gradually, Rob Two's pain ebbed. The world went misty and fluid around him. His panic and pain dissolved slowly, drifting into light, falling away from his shabby, scruffy self. And then he was standing on a grassy ground, away from it all. He heard a voice and turned. The guy in the middle was standing there. "Why so surprised, pal? I told you, didn't I?" Rob looked slowly around, taking it all in. And then, for the first time in years, Rob laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed for joy.
I see a distant
the Roman centurion. Hey, hear him groaning up there? That guy's dying of thirst. You there, give him a drink. No, not that way, idiot. How's he going to drink from a jug? Here, I'll do it. Here, sir, here's a drink on me. A sponge dipped in wine and held up. We'll do the job nicely. There you go. Take what you can. I gotta say, by Mithras, you got guts, boy. I've crucified a few in my time. But you're the daddy of them all. Yeah, I know we had some fun with you back in the barracks. I wish now I hadn't. But I'm a coarse brute, I am. Gotta be in this job. You know, it'd have been fine for you and me to have a mug of beer together before that thunderstorm of priests got their hand on you. You're a decent guy, even stuck up there. Yeah, I've changed my tune. Why the hell did they have to crucify you? You've not far to go now, pal. Death, she's your best friend when you're on a cross. And she's not far away now. And for what it's worth, you've got one more friend down here. Not that there's a damn thing I can do about it to help you. It's a crying shame. It really is. You are the son of a God. All right. Yeah, that you are.
The priests. This young man from Galilee had no idea of the tricky situation with Rome. There's so much at stake. I dare say he meant well, but what could he know? You see, it's a very delicate balance here. With the Romans occupying our country, it takes a lot of negotiating, delicate negotiating with the governor and his people to keep safe what we can. They were pressuring us to place a statue of Caesar as God in God's temple. Unthinkable. Oh, it took a lot of gold to sidestep that abomination. We're always on a knife edge here. Takes a lot of careful diplomacy for us to keep the worship going, to do the sacrifices properly, to dispense God's forgiveness responsibly. That lunatic from Galilee was threatening everything with his irresponsible actions. Yes, it's sad, but we had to be rid of him. Before he brought everything down on our heads, he was a threat to Israel and he had to go. And there he goes. He's gone. Thank God Judas Iscariot was a godsend, answered prayer. Thanks to him, we got over quickly. No fuss, no muss. I always said that we could trust God. Trust God, I said, to find a way out of this mess.
Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Father, In your hands I place my spirit," and breathed his last.
Here's a man, born to a mother who broke the rules and said yes, parented by a man who was not his father, knowing his ancient lineage, yet calling people to be born again in a new community. Here's a dreamer, tramping the dusty roads of his country, drawing inspiration from the land, loving its fruitfulness, sailing its waters, and stilling its storms. Here's a leader, throwing up a steady job to follow his calling, keeping bad company and often sleeping rough, touching people who were considered untouchable and raising up those who were overlooked. Here's someone refusing to be less than free, refusing to be less than utterly committed, refusing to bow down and serve the empires of the world. In tenderness, justice, and joy, in forgiving and healing, he lived the promise of a new relationship with God. He was called many names. Of himself, he simply said he was the Son of humanity. And now he's gone. In a few days, the world may be different, but the journey there still has to be traveled. In the shadow of the promise, we travel the footsteps of the one who traveled this path, and will travel it again with us in the name of love. Yes, the heart has been torn out of our universe, but the promise is the heart will beat again. Because love is never done. Amen.
After Jesus died, Joseph of Arimathea went to Pilate and asked for his body. Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, because he feared the Jewish leaders. With Pilate's permission, he came and took the body away. With him was Nicodemus, the Pharisee, who earlier had visited Jesus at night.
Nicodemus brought 75 pounds of burial spices, a mixture of myrrh and aloes. Taking Jesus' body, the two of them wrapped it with the spices in strips of linen, according to Jewish burial customs. On the hill where Jesus was crucified was a garden with a new tomb in it, which had never been used.
Since the sun was about to set and the Sabbath shortly begin, with the tomb close by, they took Jesus' body, laid it there, rolled a stone over the entrance, then quickly headed home.
Thank you.